Hey there, welcome to the team and welcome to this explainer. We're so pumped to have you on board. So, as a new developer joining us, you're going to find that building these scalable intelligent systems really requires mastering one absolutely crucial final hurdle in our AI pipelines. We spend so much time obsessing over retrieving the right data out of our databases, right? But what actually happens when you hand that data over to the AI? Well, that is where the magic, or honestly, the disaster happens. Today, we are talking about context engineering. It's basically the art of designing exactly what the large language model sees before it generates a single word. Because here's the hard truth. Even if you have absolutely perfect retrieval, a bad context guarantees a bad answer. But a meticulously structured one, that leads directly to a highly accurate, grounded response.
Okay, I want you to anchor this entire explainer on one super powerful mental model. Context equals the working memory of the LLM, period. I want you to visualize our workflow as this high-speed journey through a highly complex information space. Now, if you just hand the LLM 50 totally disorganized pages while it's moving at that blazing speed, it's going to get confused. It's going to hallucinate an answer literally just to get it over with. Its reasoning is only as good as the temporary memory we build for it. So, better memory equals better reasoning. A noisy memory? Yeah, that inevitably leads to bad outputs.
Okay, let's dive into this. To master this orchestration, we're going to follow a really clear roadmap today. We'll start with the working memory metaphor, then move right into the 5 steps to clarity. After that, we'll look at balancing pipeline trade-offs, explore some advanced context techniques, and finally, wrap the whole thing up with best practices and pitfalls.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the working memory metaphor.
So let's trace this orchestration flow step by step. It's like a journey. You start with the user's query, right? Which then gets turned into an embedding. That embedding searches our vector DB, which gives us a top K retrieval of documents. You might even throw a re-ranker in there just to get the absolute best documents right to the top. But right there, right before the LLM actually takes over, that is where the context builder sits. And honestly, whether you're running just a simple single-step query or this massive, highly complex multi-step workflow, the context builder is the ultimate gatekeeper. It's literally deciding the final quality of your system's response.
And this brilliantly illustrates why this matters so much. Without proper context engineering, you just get noise. Key information gets totally lost in the clutter, or it gets truncated, which leads straight to hallucinations. Honestly, this is exactly why relying on simple, unrefined one-shot requests so often fails. But on the flip side, by utilizing AI planners to carefully structure the context over a multi-step workflow, the input becomes incredibly focused. You see, these planners significantly reduce errors compared to those one-shot requests because they're carefully curating only the most relevant knowledge at every single step. The result? A hyper-focused, consistently accurate system.
Moving right along to Section 2, 5 steps to clarity.
Now, let's actually look at the specific actions required for effective task decomposition. And to make this concrete, let's use a complex task, like an automated expense analysis process, to illustrate the sequence. So, step 1 is selection. Here, you're picking only the relevant receipts and policy documents and totally dropping those unrelated email threads. Step 2 is ordering, placing the overarching company policy first and then following that up with the specific receipts, so you're creating a really logical journey. Step 3 is compression. This means stripping out all the heavy, redundant company logos and boilerplate text from those receipts, just to keep our token usage super efficient. Step 4 is formatting, applying really clear structural tags, like policy document versus expense 1, so the LLM actually understands the boundaries. And finally, step 5, instruction injection. This one is huge. This is where you firmly guide the LLM's planner. By giving it strict commands like answer only using the provided context to approve or deny the expense, you are placing absolute guardrails on the AI. So think about it. You've successfully decomposed the task, ordered it, and formatted the data perfectly. Now, these bounding instructions are forcing the LLM to navigate that high-speed journey correctly, rather than just relying on its pre-trained assumptions to make a wild guess.
Next up, Section 3, balancing pipeline trade-offs.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is it highlights a fundamental truth. Every single pipeline requires balancing some trade-offs. It's not magic, right? Increasing your context size raises recall, which means the LLM has way more chances to find a fact, but your latency and compute costs are going to spike. On the other hand, aggressive compression boosts efficiency, but you risk losing critical details. And adding structural tags? Well, that dramatically improves clarity, but it definitely eats into your prompt length. So, as you're building, you absolutely must actively tune parameters, like really adjusting your search depth, to find that perfect sweet spot. You want to capture enough relevant documents for high accuracy without totally bogging down the system's speed.
All right, let's get into Section 4, Advanced Context Techniques.
Okay, so these advanced strategies are exactly how we orchestrate massive amounts of information. We've got sliding window context, which ensures continuity across super long documents. Then there's multi-context fusion. This is cool because it combines completely different types of sources, like taking an API log and a PDF manual and fusing them together. But ultimately, techniques like context summarization and metadata injection are what really allow us to build hierarchical structures. And by organizing data from broad summaries all the way down to granular, time-stamped logs, well, these hierarchical structures become absolutely essential for building truly scalable, reliable intelligence systems.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, Best Practices and Pitfalls. Before we talk about what to do, I have to warn you against some classic rookie mistakes when setting up your orchestration flow. The absolute biggest one? Dumping all retrieved docs directly into the prompt without a planner. Guys, it is a total disaster for the LLM's working memory. Some other massive pitfalls include having zero hierarchical structure, having no filtering for redundancy, and just completely ignoring token limits. And providing no instruction guidance? Well, that simply leaves the LLM wandering completely in the dark. So, instead of doing that, please make these your standard operating procedures as part of our team. Always limit your tokens. Actively deduplicate your content. Use highly structured prompts to really aid in that task decomposition we talked about. Oh, and definitely cache your built context for efficiency. There's no reason to rebuild them for frequent identical queries. And lastly, rigorously monitor for hallucinations. If those spike, it's a huge red flag that your context engineering needs an immediate adjustment.
So, the crucial point I want you to take away from all this is simply this. Retrieval finds knowledge. That's it. It just finds it. But context engineering, that is what makes it actually usable. It's the essential bridge between just having a bunch of raw data and actually generating true, scalable intelligence.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. If you don't engineer your context, who is really controlling your AI's answers? Think about it. The answer is the noise. If you aren't deliberately architecting that working memory, you are leaving your final output entirely to chance, to clutter, and to hallucinations. So take control of that last critical step. Again, welcome to the team. We are so glad you're here. Now let's go out there and build some incredible, hyper-focused pipelines.